Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Rago.
And I'm Ty.
And today we're just going to talk about who should use boots and when to cross over. And I think it's kind of fun to do this video with Ty because we both kind of have a unique story into how we made the crossover ourselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a few things to consider, but not a super complicated thing. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. So yeah, I guess we'll start with Ty and your story. It was kind of funny, but I actually met this guy at the local cable park, and he had just started kiting.
Yep.
And I was kind of shocked to discover that you were riding foot straps, coming from like being a street snowboarder or semi-pro and a wakeboarder. It was kind of funny to me. What's up with that?
Well, you know, initially when I started kiting, everyone kind of just scared me of boots and kind of made it sound like it was an extremely dangerous thing and I can't do it till I'm an advanced kiter. And yeah, the foot straps just felt so loose to me. I never got that board feel that I was looking for. So I met Rago at the cable and kind of gave me a different perspective for the first time. Went home and put the boots on my board and everything felt good.
Yeah, a similar thing for me. When I started kiting, initially I started in straps. And I think I did it the right way for somebody who should make the transition. And I was actually lucky enough that our buddy Bobrick, Chris Bobrick, I don't know, you may or may not know him, he's a professional kiteboarder now. Ricky Bobby. But he actually mentioned to me probably right around like my second month of riding to give boots a try. And so pretty much my first season I made the crossover and never looked back. And it's only recently that I've actually started getting back into foot straps and goofing around and having fun with it and enjoying that side of kiteboarding. But to that end, if you're somebody who's on the fence about it, for anybody who is just getting into the sport, I do think that it is smart to start off with foot straps. I mean, when you were learning to kite, it would have been pretty tough to get in boots right away, right?
Yes, extremely. You know, when you're just trying to keep the kite in the air and just all the extreme basics, it was definitely nice to be able to slide into the foot strap, slide out. It really wouldn't be, you know.
Wouldn't be ideal, yeah. If you can't really get upwind, if you can't relaunch a kite, if you're dropping your kite a lot, basically until you get over that beginner hump where you're learning all of your basics, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, you really shouldn't be in boots. And then for everybody, that's going to be different. It could be month 1, month 2, it might be a year if you're just a weekend warrior who's not getting out very much. But once you have the basics dialed, it's a really good time to make the crossover. But the next point I think is who should be riding boots, and that's kind of a trickier one. I mean, I think if you want to ride them, you absolutely should. They're fun. It feels a little bit more like boarding, like for us coming over from other sports. I mean, would you say it feels a bit more like snowboarding or wakeboarding or?
Yeah, once I put boots on my board is when it really clicked for me. I'm so used to feeling a board that's strapped to my feet, so the foot straps just felt extremely unnatural for me.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. So I would say anybody who's crossing over from another sport that already uses boots, so if you're a wakeboarder, if you're a snowboarder, somebody who's already doing that, it's just going to feel more natural for you. It's going to kind of bring back some of that, I don't know, some of those elements from the other sports, that boarding feel to your kiting. It will probably feel a bit more familiar. But the other advantage is with boots, they just lend themselves to riding more powered. You know, you can do more kite low tricks. You can focus on doing like the wake style or the park style tricks. I mean, if you're somebody who wants to hit features, obviously straps would be a pretty bad idea.
Yeah. You don't want to be sliding on your toes.
Yeah, that would be a great way to get hurt. But basically, I would say anybody who wants to get into unhooked riding, who wants to do just a more powered style of kiteboarding, they just lend themselves to more of that board sport feel, which we're kind of seeing fading out a little bit in kiteboarding. It's interesting to see how kiteboarding has kind of gone in circles over the years, and I feel like it's funny, like I almost feel like kiteboarding has gone backwards in a way where the sport in 2020 reminds me so much of like the sport in like almost pre-2010, like when you look back at old videos of like all the big air, board offs, 1-footers, and that stuff is super cool. That's actually something that we both love about kiteboarding is all the other elements and the parts of kiteboarding that are unique to the sport. But it is fun to strap on a pair of boots, get on kind of a more wake style board, and do some of those kite low, more powered tricks, and It's almost like a forgotten discipline in the sport in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you know, it just feels a lot more aggressive. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's, yeah, like Rago said, a lot more power you can handle. You just can load up that heel edge a lot, you know, with the support in your heels, and yeah, it's just a completely different feel than the foot straps. A lot more control, at least for me personally.
And then coming back around, anybody who wants to, you know, just go for big air. If you want to do board offs, obviously you'd want to do the foot straps. You know, you get more flexibility with foot straps. The falls are definitely more gentle in foot straps. If you've watched videos on the comparison between the two, I think everybody knows that at this point, boots, like there's that dreaded heel catch.
Oh yeah.
The edge catch. That can always be a fun one. So if you want to avoid things like that, I have noticed though, using the VetaTechs, that the edge catch hasn't been a problem for me, because those boots actually release. So like with enough pressure on an edge catch, the toe cap releases. Did a video on those a while back, and I do kind of think they're an underrated gem in kiteboarding for anybody who wants to make the transition and not deal with some of the problems. Like, they're a step-in system, so you can just step right into them. They release on a hard edge catch, easy to get in and out of. So they also have a bit more flex to them. They're not the stiffest boot, so in a weird way, they almost feel like a cross between foot straps and boots. And I use them for wakeboarding and kite, and highly recommend those to anybody who is like thinking about getting into boots, but they're not sure if they want to pull the trigger. And have you tried them? I
have not tried them, but I didn't know they had the, you know, ski boot sort of technology to where if you get that pressure, then they will release. That's a game changer, really. That's one of the main spots where the boots can go wrong, I guess. Just catching that heel edge or toe edge even, and getting that whiplash. But
yeah, no, it makes a big difference, and it sounds a little bit scary, but it really takes a lot for them to release. So I mean, I've been using them in features. I believe Chris Bobrick actually is using them as well. He's on Elevate now, and he's rocking the VetaTechs again, which is awesome to see. And dude rides super hard, so they really only release when you're really in trouble, and they just make the impact super soft. But yeah, I guess that pretty much hits everything, right?
Oh yeah, maybe touch on some of the negatives or some of the things to watch out for while riding boots.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. What are your thoughts on that, man?
You know, one of the main things when you're getting dragged on your stomach, you know, because your board's always connected to your feet, and if you fall, a lot of the times you're going to be getting dragged through the water on your stomach, and it's not natural to get up from that. So, you know, a lot of people can, you know, not panic, but get overwhelmed in that situation. So
that's actually a super good point. So if you're lacking in core strength, obviously it would make no sense as well, because you're not looking to do powered moves. But yeah, when you do crash the kite in boots, sometimes you can get kind of dragged with the board behind you, and you've just got to be able to rotate back around and get the board in front of you so you can relaunch the kite, which is another excellent reason that we don't put beginners in boots.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be dropping your kite all the time when you're learning. You've got to get these things figured out. You don't want to be stuck to a board while you're learning that.
Yeah.
But once you cross over, and if you're looking to move more into that, like it's kind of I would say it's a fair trade-off for the powered moves and the control and that boarding feel that you get.
Yeah, once you know, have the proper techniques for getting yourself out of the water, which I found is, you know, steering the kite up to 12 a lot and pulling down when you're getting dragged on your stomach, and it'll pop you right out of the water. Just really grabbing your center line and using your core strength to pull your feet back out from under you. But after you get those figured out, it's really, you're used to it when you fall, and it just becomes natural to pull yourself out of the water.
Sweet, man. Appreciate your perspective.
Yeah, dude.
And if you guys have any questions about boots or foot straps or anything like that, drop it in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.